Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, where I'm wearing a raccoon hat. Now, this is not the typical raccoon hat that I like to wear. The typical one I like to wear is more of a Daniel Boone type, but you know, I don't get a lot of choice because Kathy Donnell forces this upon me.
That would be probably what we would expect if you're going to wear a raccoon hat.
Right? But we like to keep our raccoons alive.
That's
so,
true.
Which is what we're going to talk about here in just a moment.
Foam and paint. And yes.
Kathy, it's great to have you on the show as always. Wasatch Mountain State Park, buried in snow, but not closed.
Not closed.
No.
None of the parks are closed. Parts of the parks are closed.
Yes.
But there's still a lot to do out there.
There is.
And we actually have 3 more events coming up in February. So no reason to stay inside. Come on over.
Because people do. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's cold. You live in Utah.
Yeah. Just dress properly and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's cold 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And there's people who really, like, they don't even want to go to the grocery store, let alone go out in the mountains.
Yeah, now with all this snow, it's kind of like, okay, enough. Let's hibernate for a while.
Yeah, I don't get that. But come out and enjoy it. There's a reason why we live here.
But boy, when we have these blue skies and the white snow,
day,
oh my gosh.
It's nice. Yesterday was beautiful out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I hope people are getting out.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to encourage.
Right. Yeah. And so on Saturday we have our map reading snowshoe hike. So we're going to just do a simple how to read a map so you don't get lost out there. People in the winter, people really like to have guides. And so I do a lot of hiking in the wintertime.
It's a smart thing.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
so people can understand, you know, where they're at. We'll look at some of the maps of the park and then we'll go for a snowshoe hike.
You need to know where you are.
Read the maps and take us in directions we might not want to go. We'll get back.
Truthfully, though, it makes good sense because, I mean, it's easy to get lost anywhere in the winter when you don't have, you know, relative things to look at that give you an idea of direction.
And it looks
Everything's
different
white and it looks different.
From the summertime.
You may not recognize some things.
Yeah, and sometimes our phones die, so we can't rely on our technology. So to understand how to read a map and a compass is an important skill to have.
Well, and it's important maybe to think about keeping one of those in your car in the winter. We had that poor kid yesterday who, if you didn't hear this, out in Tooele, got lost going to a job interview of all things. Got lost enough that he succumbed to winter conditions. It's a horrible situation. So knowing how to orient yourself and find your way home, super important. Especially in the mountains. I mean, it's way more complicated than Tooele.
And with snow and water and, you know, freezing temperatures and hypothermia and it's just not a chance you want to take. It's
so
just
find out how to figure out how to find your way around. So that's what we're going to do.
So that's from 10 to 1 on Saturday. And then Valentine's Day is coming up. So
well, you know how we feel about this. Kathy and I have had several years of discussing what an awesome holiday Valentine's Day can be. Right?
Yes.
And this is probably this is the good part about Valentine's Day right here.
What's that?
Your event.
Oh. Yes. Because you get out under the moonlight and you have your sweetheart there, and it's on the 10th, which is a Friday, and you have to sign up for it through friendsofwasatch.org. But it's a great, you know, just a date night to get out. It's cheap.
And
it's
you guys
fun,
do well with it. There are a lot of people go.
Oh yeah, we have close to 100 people that show up, but we have 4 different hikes, and so we spread people out, so it works out pretty good.
Yeah, because you want them spread it because you know they're going to kiss.
Yeah. Ew. And I just get to lead the hike. I don't even get to be with my sweetheart.
You got to split them up because we know they're going to kiss.
That's right.
No one wants to see that.
So, but that'll be fun. So that's Friday night, the 10th, and then of course Valentine's Day is on the 14th. And then the end of the month we have our tree hike with Tree Utah, and that's we'll snowshoe up through the Pine Creek campground trail and identify trees and learn about trees.
This is awesome because we have quite a few varieties here in our mountains, which for a lot of mountains they can't say that. We do. We have aspens, and we have all of our different pine trees and oaks and things, and scrub type trees, different things. So this will be a great opportunity to kind of learn a little more about them.
Yeah, and we kind of forget about trees this time of year because they're not beautiful, green. People sometimes will say, "Are those trees dead out there?" And it's like, well, no, they still have a really important part in the planet, the whole system. But and if we think, and if we think about the planet, we usually call it the water planet or the blue planet because it's 70% water. So that means only 30% of our planet is land. But if we take 100% of that land, 30% of that is forest.
Wow.
Yeah. So in Utah, that computes to be about 18 million acres out of our 53 billion, whatever. 18,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
18 million acres.
So if you think about what is a forest? There's a lot of different definitions of forest depending on what you're doing with the land, whether it's all one tree and you're selling them off or you're growing them to build homes. But in general, a forest, first thing we think of is trees, right?
Yeah.
So there's trees, other plants, but it also, you have to bring in the non-living and the living things. So there's the bacteria, the fungi, the plants, the animals, the rocks, the soil, the air, all of that works together to create the forest. And what are forests good for?
Well, they're good for capturing and retaining water, right?
Yeah.
That's a big part of what they do.
Think about if we get all this sunshine, hot weather, all that snow up there on those mountains is going to melt, right? Yeah. So to have the trees to stabilize that soil is really, really important. And then the rivers, they're going to be, gushing with water.
And the trees help slow the melt down,
right?
Too, right?
Yeah, and they soak up the water that's in the ground. So they're bringing in any toxins that are in that water. They're pulling that out, and they're giving us clean oxygen. So not just oxygen, but clean oxygen. They're pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. They give us our homes. I mean, if you just look around your studio, look at all the wood you have. So building reasons, floor, tables, desks, pens, pencils, paper, all kinds of things. Heat in our homes. I don't know. We could go on and on about
wood
food.
Trees are in everything.
Yeah, everything. And so really, really important to remember that, trees, which is what I'm about, right? I want people to be aware. And the raccoon, this is where the raccoon comes in.
This is where the raccoon becomes involved.
The forest is very important to the animals.
Yes.
Tall trees, short trees, underneath, if you go snowshoeing.
Fallen trees, important part of animals.
Think about the snow that falls on the trees. Then you have this nice den in there, so the animals that stay active in the wintertime can get out of the snow and the cold and keep warm. The snow makes kind of a blanket over the earth and keeps the temperature pretty constant under the snow, and so the little animals can get under there and survive.
I don't think that people think about this, but if it were just cold and there was no snow, that would be dangerous to little animals.
Even harder.
That's bad. That's a bad year. They need the snow just as much as we do.
Right.
It's important to them.
Because they need to survive those cold
it's an insulator to them.
Right. And they can get down there and find the grasses to eat and stuff. It's the big animals right now that are having a really hard time because
and they really are.
Yeah.
You guys are out feeding this year because they're having such a difficult time.
Yeah. Right.
This becomes an issue because that means the animals are coming down and getting onto roads and different things. We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, there was 3 elk right on 40.
Right.
The other day yesterday I was going by 3 big bulls.
Yeah.
There's a cop over there.
Kind of keeping them away.
Or at least warning people that they were there.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah, they're all coming down. Yeah, definitely.
It's a tough winter. In fact, and there's some other things that we'll talk about in the next hour. But the shed for antlers has been kind of held back a little bit in several counties. So we'll talk about that and how important that is to give them their space, let them
because right now they're really low on energy. So if you move animals right now, most likely they're going to starve to death. So not just run and drop dead, but they're going to starve to death, and that's like the worst.
We're talking they've got enough energy to go a few yards, and that's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to imagine this.
And you know what? That's really what this is kind of about. Is if we think about why the forests are important, or why it's important for us to stay, keep our distance from the animals. Think about what we want and what the planet needs. We're here on the planet to do our thing, but also to be stewards of the planet. We can't just use the planet for what we need. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about thinking about the future and how we're going to sustain what we have for our children, our grandchildren. And so, it's called intelligent consumption, basically. Aldo Leopold coined that term in the 40s of what are my desires and how do I be a responsible citizen of the planet. And so if you think, well, I'm recycling, I'm throwing everything in the recycle bin. But if your recycle bin is overflowing in 2 weeks, then you're still consuming too much. So you need to back off on the consumption. Reuse things. Don't buy things.
Don't buy water bottles.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And a good exercise to do, which I have done in the past, is to give up plastic.
Yeah.
And if you think about not buying as much, or the thing I like is you know, the juice that you buy in the plastic containers.
Right.
You can buy that same juice in the frozen cardboard container. You just have to make a mental note of saying, okay, that. And I think when we get to the store, we just are like, okay, I want this, and it's about me.
And you want to get out of there, and you don't want to deal with it.
Save time, and you know, and to freeze something and thaw it out, it's not going to work. But if we can somehow get into our head that I've got to think about the future and how I'm polluting the earth. I mean, we've got the pollution in Heber and Camas. When you're coming down those hills into the valleys, we have the pollution.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it doesn't, we think, well, it's not me, it's them. No, it's us. If we're in the valley, we are causing the problem. We are part of the problem. So if everybody could just kind of take a step back and think, okay, how am I going to do my part to not consume or not pollute? Then, you know, we'll a little better. Right?
I think we saw a little, you know, we had a little reminder of that at Sundance with the Swell bottle people who were trying to get people to sign up to get off the plastic bottles. And if we quit buying them, they'll quit making them, which is the whole point here. We do need to start thinking of other ways to get, you know, our water.
How many water bottles do you have in your cupboard?
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to do this. It's easier to be better stewards, I think, at the end of the day. And we got to consider
things like that.
Yep.
You know,
planning your trips and things like that. There's a lot of things you can do to make this a little easier on everybody, and certainly on our planet.
Right. And so the big question is to ask, what can I do to help later generations? Because it's going to be here, and it's not about us. It's not all about us.
Isn't it indeed? But it is about a great conversation with Kathy Donnell with Wasatch Mountain State Park.
And I just want to say we're taking reservations through June 2nd now.
All right, so we're already starting to hook up the campgrounds.
Yeah, so plan your summer and get on the reservation page.
It goes fast, especially for those big holidays. You know which ones they are. If you want a campground spot, you better start looking.
That's right.
Right, and that's true not just at Wasatch Mountain State Park, but all of your state parks. They are very busy. Of course, we've had record visits to our national parks as well, almost double in some cases what they've been. So we're starting to see that at the state parks too, because if they can't go to the national parks, where do they go? They go to the state parks. So start planning accordingly.
And this year is our 60th anniversary, so there's a lot going on in the state parks. Every week there's some event going on in some state park. There's 43 state parks. Great year to buy your annual pass, so you can just go, not even think about paying the fee, just go in the park for day use and enjoy. We're doing a tagged fish contest this summer.
Can hardly
in our
wait.
Little pond.
You guys are good at that, and there's always some good prizes.
Yeah.
All right, Kathy Donnell is going to go fishing, find a great big one, and tag it up for you to win some great prizes. So make sure you participate this summer as we get towards that. But in the meantime, start doing what you can to help out with your parks and take care of them by just doing some simple things. So we've got, that's certainly something you should be thinking about. You know, our friends, the Native Americans, certainly thought of that, and their traditions are so important to them. When we come back, we'll look to some of those traditions with My Father's Tools from the Sundance Film Festival. That happens right after this. Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I am thrilled to have Kathy Donnell here with Wasatch Mountain State Park. That accounts for this lovely fox hat that I have right now. What did the fox say? What does the fox say?
He says a lot of things, I think.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Does he say, I'm kind of tired of all this cold?
He says, probably. He also says he has something in common with recycling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay. I didn't know this. You got fox earrings
I
in.
do.
Look at you.
And raccoon earrings.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's all related, and with recycling, too.
Okay. We're talking, you would have thought we were talking about a fox, but what we're really talking about is recycling.
In common.
Okay.
And so what is in common? Recycling and foxes. What do they have in common? That's a trivia question.
Okay.
Nobody knows that, but that's
no one
a
knows.
trivia question.
We're going to find out here in just a minute.
Yeah. So they both process stuff.
Okay.
And then, so if you think about recycling, we recycle it, we use it for other things, or we change it, we process it to change it into other things. Does that make sense?
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
and I got to be honest, I never thought I'd get a chance to talk about poop on TV.
Well, here we are.
We
can do more of that if you want.
It just never occurred to me. No, you know, we have actually. We talked about it, using it for power, maybe to power ski lifts.
Oh, wow.
So this is not the first time we've discussed this.
Yeah, well, good.
Here we go.
So if you think about what we do, we recycle, right? We hope we recycle. Summit County actually has a little bit higher waste per day than the national average, but it's probably because of the resort town. And probably if you look at the other resort towns, they probably have the same thing. But if you look at, like, you guys recycle, I saw your recycling cans back there.
We try.
The resorts, you see them at the recycle center getting rid of all their glass and their brochures. And,
so they do a pretty good job?
Well, I think so. I think as a resort, they do good. It's the people that are coming into the same thing with the camping.
They have
people
to
on vacation. They don't want to recycle, right? And we have the recycle bins. We try to educate them.
I don't want to do this right now. I do it at home.
Yeah.
Do it here.
Yeah, exactly. Do it here
it's
too.
Our town. Do it here.
So what about out in nature? Who's our recyclers out in nature, and how good are they doing, or what are they doing?
Well, so anybody that reuses things, birds tend to be pretty good recyclers.
Yeah.
Because they use so much junk to build nests. You'd be surprised when you go and look at what's in them.
Yeah, which is a good reason to pick up our garbage.
We got to be careful because some of the things birds take to their nests are really bad for them.
We actually there's a raven hanging in a tree over by Rockcliffe, and it's probably has fishing line wrapped around it. Yeah, so
that's not good.
Yeah, I know. But so make sure we recycle that stuff, or at least get it in the garbage can. You know? But if we think about, so what are some of the animals we have here? We have raccoons. Foxes.
The raccoons not only recycle, but they help you get stuff out of your trash too.
Exactly. Skunks too, right? But all the insects, the worms.
Worms are big recyclers.
Right. Maggots, flies, all of those things are big recyclers. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, but when we look at those, we go, ooh, yuck, let's get rid of those. They bite us, they get in our garbage, they get in our food, they have diseases, they have rabies. So why don't we just get rid of them and we'd be better off?
Because then we have lots of higher species that would be like in real trouble. They wouldn't have food.
Exactly. So if you think, and if you think about what a fox eats.
Right.
Not what they say, but what they eat.
So they eat mice?
They will eat mice, but they're omnivores, right?
They're omnivores, so
they'll eat anything, right? So it's, and a lot of animals, even golden eagles can be considered scavengers because they'll eat dead stuff. So if we didn't have these animals, if we got rid of them, we'd have to look at the benefits compared to the problems we have with them.
We'd have carrion everywhere.
Right, we'd be full of dead stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff is a really scientific word. Right?
It is. Dead stuff is scientific.
Dead stuff, yeah. So we got to really look at, what we're doing for these animals. Even this time of year, this is a hard time of year. We've talked about this. They're low on energy, they're low on food, and yet they're out there surviving. So when we can give them their space, we don't pay them, we don't hire them, we don't go look for them. They do it on their own.
Right.
And we don't have to do anything about it. If they weren't here, we'd have to go and clean up all the dead stuff or get rid of all the pests. But, these guys do it on their own.
A good reminder right now, we're talking about it, DWRD and are both reminding us that sheds, not until April 1 this year, because those animals are in such desperate shape.
Right.
And you and I have talked about this. We're talking about, like, if you make them run even 100 yards or less, they could kill them.
Yeah.
They're to that point
and they
in
would
energy.
Starve to death. So that's not just a drop dead die. That's a lingering death,
So
and we actually had a comment on Facebook about that because we were snowshoeing. Did you see my great snowshoe video?
No, I did not.
It's
but
how
I will
to
check
snowshoe.
This out.
Yes, it's really important. But somebody mentioned, well, why are you letting people snowshoe when we can't go hunt for sheds? Well, I've never kicked up. Of all the hiking and snowshoeing I've done this winter, I haven't kicked up an elk or a deer or a moose. I've seen them up higher. So but if you're going to look for sheds, you're going into their territory.
Obviously.
Yeah. So we just need to be aware. We don't want you not out there. We just need to be. If we had a herd of elk right at the visitor center, we wouldn't let you go out there and disturb them, right?
Of course not.
So you just got to think about where they're at, what you're doing, and how you're helping and how you're hindering. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution.
Yeah. Speaking of that speaking of those elk, Round Valley, oh my goodness, there is a huge herd of elk out there.
Yeah.
You gotta not only do you want to give them their distance, you just don't want to get stampeded.
Right.
Which is a good point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So again, recycling and doing our part to make sure things are out of the way and put where they go. Everything has a place. Put it in its place.
And try and just if we can do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's all. Just recycle a few more things. Don't buy some things, reuse some things.
Right.
Just kind of think about that.
If you don't need them.
I think it's just really about thinking.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree
And giving the
more.
animals space, you know, they just do it on their own. So, but we have to give them their space. We crowd them, they don't necessarily crowd us, we crowd them, and then they find a way into our life, and that bothers us, but we need to give them that space.
Yeah, remember we started it.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
we need to end it too.
Yeah,
So let's make
yeah.
sure we're taking care of them. Anything else? You got some stuff coming up?
Well, we got lots of snow.
Yeah.
We closed the cross-country ski course for about a week, but it's reopened, so hopefully
great.
it'll stick around a little longer.
Okay.
So come out and ski, get some more exercise out on the golf course. It's just so beautiful, just wide open, and it's not real hard, so it's a great, and it's cheap. Snowshoeing, same thing, great exercise, great cardio. Great way to low impact, get outside. And golf courses are hoping to open sometime in March, but who knows, that could be a really snowy month.
Feeling like April.
They were hoping, and then it snowed again.
I'm really hoping
So,
for April. Let's
yeah.
let's just belabor this a little longer.
Yeah.
I want to keep winter around.
And you know, this is our 60th anniversary, State Park's 60th
Yes.
anniversary. So we
Big
have
celebrations this year.
all kinds of things going on, like
Fishing
every week
tournaments,
through all the state parks. We have
things.
42 state parks.
Wow.
You know, I love the national park thing, but we also have state parks in our backyard.
Yep.
And people need to get out for spring break and just enjoy them because they're here. They're inexpensive. They're yours if you live in Utah.
Yeah, some of the very best parks in the world right here, state parks in Utah.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot coming up. You can also make reservations through July 2nd now. So get started with that, and
Almost the
you
big
know,
holiday weekend.
if you're that's a Sunday. So I don't know if when are people coming. The 4th is on a Tuesday. So not sure when they'll be out, but. Yes,
point.
make your reservations now.
So that weekend is open right now, so get it
Yeah.
planned. All right.
Yep.
Kathy Donnell, Wasatch Mountain State Park. Make sure you do your part by recycling more. Just if you can, think about what you're buying as well and what kind of container it's in, and whether you could maybe get it a different way. If you need some pineapple slices and they come in a container, buy a pineapple
Right.
instead. Okay. A lot more coming up here on the Mountain Morning Show. We'll be right back.